Let's knock this Guns Gis Class.
We're good to go.
Class 7 podcast out.
Let's fucking rock it.
Because we got fucking 1 hour before we got to go to the airport.
Yes.
So let's make this episode happen, and then we got to head out.
1 hour. We got more than 1 hour.
We got 1 hour and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Bam.
1 hour and a half.
Let's do.
And we're fucking tired. So if you think, I don't like that episode because they don't sound like their normal savage, wild animal self.
There you go.
There might be some truth to that.
Watch this shit.
We just got done doing a fucking training session with your guys, and I thought that last training session would bring me back to life.
It didn't.
It kind of did for a minute.
It did. You're like, I'm glad I trained.
Yeah, dude. I felt fucking, all right, I'm back, dude. Fucking rolling with the guys and shit. And then like 10 minutes afterwards, I'm like, fucking tired again.
Back into the tiring realm.
But bro, it's like I told Lapin, man, like, your dudes are tough, man.
I know.
All your dudes are tough. But I like, man, maybe I just need to come down here every once in a while outside of Guns and Gis and just get some cross training in.
We do a Greg swap.
A
gym swap.
Let's do a gym swap.
Yeah, gym swap. Big Greg comes down.
But then I wouldn't be hanging out with you. That would hurt my heart a little bit.
That would fucking suck. I know.
I bet Rachel Anderson would like a gym swap. Or maybe she'd come with me. C-O-M-E, by the way.
Let's clarify that.
But yeah, dude, just fucking good rolls. And your blue belts and your purple belts are fucking tenacious as fuck.
They
dude.
are. The boys are good, and they've got good technical jiu-jitsu, and they're just fucking grindy.
Yeah, grindy.
You know?
That's a good way to put it. Like, it doesn't matter if you're fucking putting them in bad positions or knee on belly or fucking smashing. They're in the fight, dude.
So I put the, what's his name, the purple belt? Marcus.
Yeah.
In a hard position, like pressure.
Yeah.
You know? Many humans would tap for that, but because he was right in front of Lapin, probably he was like,
oh, my guys, no, we don't we don't tap to pressure. Like, that's not a thing. You don't. I don't allow it. Well, wait, are you about to tap? No, you don't tap. Like, you fucking take it.
It's like we said, like Bouchesha says, if you tap to pressure, you touch their pride.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I told you guys about this, but I want to say it on the podcast. On, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, I said, okay, tonight, you know how like you have different goals for what you're going to do tonight?
Oh, definitely.
Sometimes like, okay, I'm going to try and submit everybody with a triangle.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing tonight. Or today I'm going to play defense. I'm going to let my guys get on my back and then see if anybody can choke me. That kind of shit.
Right.
A couple weeks ago, I said, I'm going to try and tap all my blue belts to pressure, which is like,
that's a thing.
It's kind of a dick thing, right? But it's not a dick thing because what you're doing is you're developing like grit and mental toughness.
Definitely, bro. It's like those people like, oh, I don't train gi or I don't train no gi. That's bad, bro. And I was like, you should train everything because there's many faces of jiu-jitsu, right? And the gi give you certain things that no gi don't. But no gi give you other things, like speed and the pressure. The no gi pressure because the lack of grips, right, and leverage. You make those grips, so you have to reinvent your jiu-jitsu and your speed, right? And you have to tweak that. You're training gi or no gi, and that makes part of the process of becoming really good, right, and flowing
overall.
around. Yeah, pretty much, So. Bro, I think that's so bad. People like, oh, I don't do this or I don't do that, like they have like a certain closed mind towards, both things.
Especially over the last couple years with like no-gi jiu-jitsu is becoming big with like Gordon Ryan and the Donner Death Squad started blowing this up. And I get more and more people that are like thinking that moving away from gi, you see it all the time. It's like, man, the gi jiu-jitsu is dying. And this is what these motherfuckers don't realize. It's like, if you're chasing being a no-gi world champion, maybe the gi's not for you. I don't fucking know. But what we've all talked about, we've all seen, having an academy that is like, like an Eddie Bravo academy or an MMA academy where they don't include the gi, it's a different culture.
Definitely.
The gi, I feel like, gives a pass for people to try jiu-jitsu that aren't interested in an MMA fight, that aren't interested in becoming an ADCC champion.
A little bit more of like a chill culture, and I don't know. The gi makes you more technical because you can be a little sloppy in no gi. You can slide and slip out of stuff, you know? Like,
I mean, I think the most classical, like you said, Eddie Bravo, right? I think the classical example for that is the 10th Planet guys, right? Don't take me wrong. I have friends from 10th Planet that I love those guys. They're the coolest. And principally the black belts are the ones who always approach and say, hey man, let's train some gi here and there, you know? Totally, bro, you know? And that's the open mind that I really like towards the people, right? Like, people ask me, like, bro, what you like most, gi or no gi? I am a ACC champion. I have been, like, few times world champion no gi. But, bro, gi is my roots, you know? Gi is what makes me... I feel like... I always say that difference between gi and no gi for me is, like... Gi is like painting, drawing, you know, a picture, which takes technique, which takes imagination, creativity, right? And every day you come back there to that drawing, you do something different that improves, right? And it takes time, right? If you see, like, even the famous painters, right, from generations back, they evolve the work. The work is, like, from the beginning of their careers to the end till they die are extremely different, you know. And no-gi for me is a faster process, a faster pace. Is like taking pictures, you know. It takes feeling, it takes creativity, but is as you do, you see the result right away, you know. And I think that, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong. You take long to learn how to paint, to draw, and there's no problem you having a faster process of learning how to take pictures, you know? And I think at the end of the day, if you're creative and you like art, both things can be your jam, you know what I mean? It can become like one thing. You can experiment different things and create your own style over that, you know?
Oh, dude, for a long time, I preferred no-gi until purple belt. Actually,
Same here.
Until actually probably the very beginning of brown belt or maybe even mid brown belt. It's been so long ago, it's hard to remember. But I was also doing a lot of MMA white through purple belt. And what you realize is, like, you can adapt your gi game to be more suitable where you're not using, like, all, like, lasso or all the different collar grips and shit. And you can still develop very well inside of the gi without a very, like, technical Keenan Cornelius style game with underhooks and, like, just, you know, basic jiu-jitsu. You just happen to be in the gi.
No, bro, and I go deeper because, like, within the gi, right, it's like when you have, like, a baggy gi, right, and your game is, you know, you're loose, right?
Yeah.
You can flow more, and then you use, like, those days you use, like, your tighter gis, and now you have to go with the gi, right? Because you don't have room to move, you know? So it changes your game.
It also changes when you're trying to, you know, like, some people's gis are so tight that you try and grab it. It's like, well, that's so
illegal.
There's nothing, there's nothing to grab here. So I guess I need an underhook or whatever.
That's what I tell people. Like, people goes like, oh man, this gi, this guy, that. Look, bro, keep every gi you have, because I have gis that are very tight and I have gis that are very baggy, loose. And I have my days I want to be baggy. I have my days I want to be loose.
Dude, I never heard that before. I like that, though.
And my game changed those days, you know? And it give me the freedom to be creative within, you know, those 4 lines. You know what I mean? So I just come to add.
My students ask all the time, like, what do you like better? You know? And my answer these days is I prefer training in the gi. But if you catch me on a no-gi night, I'll probably tell you that I like no-gi better. Because, bro, it happens every single class. It's like the majority of my training is with the gi on now. So I felt like I started to fall in love with that more and appreciate that more. But then you have one of those nasty wrestling practices and, like, all the guys are up there and you grind for an hour. And when it's done, there's fucking something special about that, too.
For sure.
You know?
If you want to be a well-rounded grappler, you got to do both, period. And it's like now... You know, when I was younger and not broken, you know, it's like, yeah, I wanted to fucking lock horns, head fight, fucking collar tie, bah, you know, like, now I'm like, I might make a grip, sit to my butt a little bit, play spider, play lasso, you know, like, keep people away from touching my head. And then some days I'm like, I feel good. I'm like, let's fucking lock horns and go. And those are the days that I'm wrestling and throwing my guys and fucking training no-gi, you know, it's like... But honestly, those days are few and far between now. You know, I'm fucking always banged up.
So you have the option to slow the fight down more efficiently with a gi on.
The gi is a slower pace. Yeah, that's how I see it. It's like when you're young, you can move fast, right? You wanna move fast, you wanna see things happening, and the no gi is perfect for that. But as you get older, you want to slow down the pace and be technical, and you see the beauty in technique, right? And that it's gi. You know what I mean? It's like,
for sure. It also allows you to train, I think, more consistently. Like right now, I've been training with one arm tucked in my belt. I can't do that no gi.
No, yeah.
Not to mention, like, you just can't move even that way. Like, I'm putting my arm on my belt. You saw, I'm pulling lasso. I'm rope-a-doping them for 4 minutes, making them drag me around the mat, and then
and also like you can work like the gi, the dark side, right? The gi dark side, the wrist locks, or the no gi dark side, the foot locks. You know what I mean? That type of game. You can the dark side. I like to call
prison rules.
Well, and it's like with your first guy, I forget his name though, Colin. Like, did you see I pulled like a De La Hiva, right? And swept in with De La Hiva and came up on top. And you said like the gi is more like an art form, right? Yeah, I talk to my students about this all the time because I think it's very important for especially new jiu-jitsu people to start to distinguish what is part of an art and then what is part of a fight. Because like I know a lot of people in the foundation of what jiu-jitsu is, it's supposed to be self-defense, right? But I'm also not going to pull De La Hiva in a self-defense situation. That doesn't mean pulling De La Hiva, there's anything wrong with that though. Because dude, it's movement, it's mobility. It helps with like your overall physicality. Like those roles where you're doing all the intricate technical jiu-jitsu stuff, it's fun. Not everything we do has to be about a fight all the time. And a lot of jiu-jitsu guys get caught up in that. And I tell my students all the time, don't get caught up in one way or the other. Like if you like to go play basketball with your friends, does that have anything to do with fighting? No. Right? It's the same thing. There's elements of jiu-jitsu that are not necessarily about fighting. They're about just having fun. And you need to be able to distinguish them though.
And dude, I had a fucking epiphany about, I've always said the same thing. You're never going to fucking pull guard in a street fight. But check this out. And I told you the story of Ryan and Logan, the guys up in Ohio. And they had a judo black belt, like a competitive, like good judo black belt come over.
You were going to tell the story. I didn't hear it, so tell it.
Yeah, so they met a guy who's like a fucking 12, 14-year judo black belt up there and came over. I'd like to train. I've done just a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but primarily, Japanese jiu-jitsu, judo. And he said, yeah, the guy would grab him and whack just every single time. And he's like, I got tired of it. So I just took his vote to take me down away. And the second we made a grip, I sat to my butt and threw my lasso in or shot a triangle on him. He's like, I subbed him a few times.
Yeah.
This is a white belt subbing another grappling art black belt, And he's like, he didn't really know what to do with the guard and stuff. Like, all he did was
besides
judo.
the fact that jiu-jitsu taught me that, and Greg said that yesterday on the range, right? Never say never.
Never say never.
Because one of these days, bro, you might hit something like a De La Riva on a street fight, and if somebody film that, you go viral. You become a legend.
And like that's the thing.
I guess I should say I wouldn't think of that as my go-to.
For sure, me neither.
For instance, I know my purple belt Jordan, who's a high level
bro.
wrestler,
You get into a fight with him, he ties up with you, and you go, holy fuck! I'm sitting on my butt. I go shin on shin, go to single leg X, dump him, break his foot. Like
that's. I mean, if you fucking come across a dude like that on concrete,
you're in
you
trouble.
don't want to allow him to have the opportunity to take you down.
No, because he might be a white belt, but when he hugs you, it's a black belt hug.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
now he's wearing a Carhartt jacket,
or he hits his blast double, and now my head is 6 feet off the ground before it smashes the concrete. If I can mitigate that by already being on the ground,
So yeah,
and I'm not saying it's going to work out well for me.
You remember the fight,
maybe
Kevin Handelman and Feder?
Yeah, Kimura, and picked him up and
dropped his head.
Yeah. But that's the thing, like especially like up where you live, like you got guys walking around in Carhartt jackets and shit. If I tangle up with you and I'm like, holy fuck, this dude's a monster, he's gonna pick me up and smash him on the ground. I'm going to make a grip on your Carhartt jacket.
Get underneath him?
I'll get underneath you, throw De La Hiva. You're not going to be able to kick me in the head if I've got De La Hiva or shin on shin. And you're going to have a hard time fucking punching me if I have a grip on a jacket. And next thing you know, I'm going to balloon sweep your ass.
Besides, there's elements in jiu-jitsu that we don't train, but they are there. I mean, you can you can hit someone from the bottom
Fucking
with your
up
feet.
kicks,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Up
You know,
kicks
we
and
don't
knee kicks.
even think about that. But bro, you have seen like Renzo Gracie winning fights with that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that happens, bro. Like when I teach self-defense classes, I always remember, guys, that we can do things that you cannot in jiu-jitsu.
Of course.
You know, you have research even from the bottom, right? And if a girl against a big guy, you know, I see advantages of that little girl being with her back on the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And kick the guy on the face from the bottom.
Joao, I've noticed guys whose names start with R. If they're Brazilian, you pronounce it the R. I hear you say Renzo Gracie or Rickson, but if they're American, it's Kevin Handelman. I like it, dude. That's because you're American and Brazilian.
Yeah. I'm hybrid.
Fuck, man. No, but I mean, like, I guess the other side of it is, and as our academy keeps blowing up, we're having less and less space, right? But I tell my students, I'm like, this is not ideal to have people on top of people. But the other side of it is, you kind of have to know what's going on behind you. And I tell them, this is actually, it's the silver lining, right? Let's try and find, because we have 40 people at practice. It is what it is. So now instead of being 100% focused on the person that you're fighting, you're going to have some awareness of what's going on around you as well. And that plays into if you want to be underneath someone or on top of someone, because just like you said, like if it's you and one guy and you can grab his coat and pull him on top of you, you have options, right?
Right.
But if there's 4 other dudes standing there, not a fucking chance.
I'm shooting everybody.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm not getting into a fight.
No.
I'm either running away if I can, obviously. I'll fucking, let's be realistic. And it depends. Like, I told a story about fucking 2 guys that I got into a confrontation to.
Tell it again.
But I also fucking snuck them. Mm-hmm. Like I saw these 2 guys. I already had a confrontation with one of them, and he left, and he came back, and him and his buddy were now standing over there, and they put their drinks down, and their posture changed, and they were staring at me talking. I was like, I know what's about to happen. So let me get ahead of it.
Yeah.
And situational awareness, right? Where it was in like a concert hall, and there was like a little half wall behind them with some tables and chairs, and they were standing right in front of it. Fucking horrible place to stand, And I literally passed my drink off to Casey, and I was like, hey, hold this for me real quick. And I walked up and I was like, hey guys, hands up, right? Everything that Joao talks about, distance management, I was like, hey guys, what's up? Smiling, like everything good. And as I got within arm's reach, I just went wham and fucking launched the one dude over it into some tables and chairs. And then the other dude swung on me, arm dragged him, fucking sunk him down to his butt, choked him out. Other dude got up, same thing, arm dragged him, fucking choked him down on the ground. Then the bouncers are on us. But that's a rarity. They didn't get a punch on me.
Yeah.
Like, could they have? Sure, but I fucking snuck them. I used strategy. I didn't fight fair.
Self-awareness, you know what's going on around you 360 degrees.
I knew I could get the one guy out of the equation for at least several seconds by just fucking launching him over that wall into some tables and chairs, So I would never fight. I would never toe-to-toe with 2 dudes.
Well, you would.
Well, if you had to.
If they were Seattle Starbucks
well, there you go. Fair enough. I
baristas.
guess it depends.
Because I told the story before on the podcast. We had this kid like hand our coffee to me through the window, me and Jenny were there, and his arm was like the size of a piece of PVC pipe all the way from his wrist to his shoulder.
All the way to his shoulder.
And he looked all like white. And this dude's probably 20 years old, right?
Sickly.
And like bags under his eyes and just sickly as fuck, right? And he goes walks back in to like grab another part of the order, and I look at Jenny. I said, how many of him do you think I could fight at once and win? And you know what she said? Infinity.
Well, that was like, what was that conversation Joe Rogan had with, it's like, how many 10-year-olds do you think you could beat up at once?
Well, bro,
He's like, infinite.
Yeah.
As many,
right?
like, it doesn't.
Well, here's the thing.
Just a battalion of 10-year-olds charging
I
me.
have 10-year-olds, probably not 10-year-olds, but I have 12-year-olds that could beat the fuck out of grown-ass men like that Starbucks barista.
Bro, I have a 14-year-old daughter, bro, and she's a savage. Like, she's about to get her green belt. And seriously, bro, to match her level, and she's 14, I have to put an adult man purple belt. You know, it's the least requirement to face her.
Yeah.
You know?
But Dora started it, what, 2 or 3, right?
She was baby. She started living. She started on the mats.
So, bro, she's 14 now. That means 12, 13 years of jiu-jitsu. That's black belt.
Yeah, and the craziest thing is, like, the other day I asked her, like, bro, babe, what's the plan if you have to fight on the streets? And she's like, Dad, I want to punch a like double jab and straight cross on the guy's face. And I'm like, okay, but that's not jiu-jitsu. She's like, yeah, I don't want to go to the ground. I'm like, perfect, that's my girl.
Dude, I was telling, I don't know if you were in the room when I was talking about it the other day, but now that like my oldest are starting to have boyfriends.
Oh man,
you know,
mine too.
Like,
they are the same age.
Like,
is the age? You know, it's,
like
it's time.
Gwen's 16, she has a boyfriend. Siler's 14, she has a boyfriend, and I think boyfriends have to train at the academy, and that's going to be mandatory. So, and I talked to their moms about that, and they're both on board. And it's like, yeah, like, and it's not. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm the mean fucking. No. I'm going to fucking intimidate you, or fucking be like. But I'm going to go to both these young kids and be like, listen, like, you guys are going to be at the movie theater. You're going to be out at the fucking jump park, and if my daughter needs your help, I expect you to be there to help them, right? Like, if you're going to be
not the other way around.
No, yeah. If you're going to be her boyfriend, I expect you to be a protector. And I know you're 14 years old or you're 16 years old or whatever, right? But you need to have the ability to be a protector if you want to be in this girl's life. I think that's fucking reasonable, you know? Especially, and I'll give you free memberships and I'll teach you how to do it. Yeah. And then, like I said, the back end of that is they're going to know what my fucking hands on them feel like.
Course.
And then be like, okay.
They're going to know you better.
You know, in the same breath, too, like, I'll be like, yeah, as soon as Gemma, you know, obviously Gemma's quite a bit younger, but like when Gemma's 14, 15 years old, she'll have 10 years of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. Well, dude, Siler.
And it's like, all right, you have to roll with her. Gemma, fucking pull hard, like, go, like, send it. You know?
I actually am wondering, because Siler's good, man. Like, she beats up boys all the time. And I'm thinking, like, dude, he probably doesn't want to come train because, man, can you imagine being in 8th grade and your girlfriend can kick your ass? Like, that's kind of humiliating.
It is, bro.
But at the same time, okay, it's time to get over that because it is what it is.
You know what I see, bro? I have a black belt that teaches with me, electric, and she's amazing. She's like few times world champion. She's a black belt.
What's her name?
Barbara Pierce.
Oh yeah, I know Barbara.
So
she was here for a while, not too far.
And bro, it's funny because she's into like dating, right? She's a woman. She's a beautiful woman. She's super fit and everything. But it's fucked up for her, bro, because like on these dating apps, 99.9% of people are white belts.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a problem for her, bro. You know?
I never thought about it like that, but a black belt female.
It's a problem for them.
Because, like, for them, because I don't care if you're a black belt female. I think it's human nature for females to want to look at their man as their protector.
That's the point.
Well, that is human nature.
Or at least the same.
Or at least the same. Not weaker. Your girl
because
does.
Sometimes she tells me like she goes out with the guys and stuff and dates and dinners and you know, and when she tell the guys she's a black belt, the guys say like, oh, so I can hide behind you, and she's like, done with you, bro. No, like done with you. You know what I mean? You cannot accept that from a man. Fucking, you know what I mean? A beta bitches. You know?
Fuck, dude.
And basically, the black belt women, of course, they're women. They're feminine and everything, but they don't want to be the man. You know what I mean?
No, of course
they
not.
They don't want to be the man of the relationship. You know,
and that's
the
reason
problem
the world's
for them.
in the fucked up way it is. Fucking imbalance of power.
And bro, fucking like, make no mistake about it. A black belt female to a guy who knows nothing, you're going to sleep.
Yeah.
You know what's your black belt's name?
Stephanie.
She's fucking savage, bro.
She's a fucking savage, and like. She beats up my dudes that know jiu-jitsu that have got a few years, like my blue belts and stuff. Like she beats them up, you know? So like even with the strength and the physicality difference, like, and dudes that have like a really strong fundamental base of jiu-jitsu, 2-3 years of jiu-jitsu, she beats the fuck out of them, you know? So some regular dude on the street.
I don't have any high-ranking girls yet. Rachel and Christy are like... our toughest girls, and they're blue belts. But even like, man, Christy's 3 or 4 years in now, and fucking, dude, you put your hands on her. Did you roll with her at all at Guns and Gis?
I can't remember.
And like, dude, she just went through. You know how like you roll with someone on Tuesday, and then you roll with them on Thursday, and that's like their new person.
Yeah.
They leveled up.
Yep.
That's like a video game, you know?
Yeah.
Bro, she went through a massive leveling up, and it's fucking scary
Nice.
now. And it's like, dude, fucking whatever that thing is, it's happening to her.
They cracked the code. That's everybody cracks
That
the
happened
code.
with Casey too recently. Like fucking, for as tiny as she is, she's developing a top game. She's developing pressure, and she's so little. She's fucking impossible. To, like get her off of you. You know, stuff that I would do to guys and getting butterfly hooks underneath to elevate. Her legs are so short, I can't fucking.
No,
get
definitely. That is an advantage on being short.
Yes,
you know,
dude.
like I see this because when I roll especially with my daughter, because I love rolling her because her level is so good, and I got so much flow from her, but I cannot tangle as much as I could with Greg, right? Like my size,
Yeah.
and it's a thing on my game. I'm like, fuck, dude. It's like she can do things I can hold because she's shorter, you know, and it works, you know, and because she is there, she's her, right?
Yeah.
She knows how to use, you know.
Well, bro, not to call Chris Shift out because you already did that yesterday for being short. But no, I just told him because I just rolled with him an hour ago, and it's like I like to dig that far side underhook and go elbow to elbow, and then that locks for most people. That locks that arm in, and then I can turn it into an arm bar. But Chris is able to swim through it, dude, and he did that like not today. Last time we rolled, he swam out of my armbar like 4 or 5 times, and it was frustrating as fuck, dude. So today I was like, instead of just digging the underhook, going elbow to elbow, I'm gonna do a low kimura.
Yeah.
You know, to isolate that arm, and it worked. Yeah. And then he's like, he came in here after the roll. He goes, "We need to roll more."
Yeah, I heard.
I need more of that. I need to figure out what the fuck's going on there. Yeah. And it's like, but that's all the fun of it. It's
He's
like,
fucking leveled up too, man.
bro, he's good as fuck.
He's so good, dude.
So I wanna bring something up here. I think we were talking this weekend about because we're talking about this, you know, like guys and levels and shit, bro. But what do you guys think about like bring back the gym storms? You know, for these guys who are keyboard warriors hiding behind their phone screens, you know. And I have something, bro. I don't disrespect people, you know. But when people disrespect me, I don't like to keep talking. You know, it's like, okay, bro, let's square up and decide this and stop this talk. You know what I mean? Because otherwise I become one of them.
Yeah.
You know, one of the talking bitches. You know.
Well, are you saying Dojo Storm, or are you saying
Dojo
like,
Storm? Dojo Storm.
Because
like,
most of the people that are talking shit to you on the internet, they're not part of any dojo.
Yeah, they're not.
They're
going
part of
to-
mama. They're part of mama's basement, right?
But that's the point, bro. Like, not every gym is a great gym.
No,
you know
that's
what I mean?
true, yeah.
And then it creates a wrong culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they think like, oh, because I train jiu-jitsu, but then I have a phone and then I can talk whatever I want. It's like, no, bro. You can, as long as you don't disrespect people, you don't hurt people, you know, because otherwise, bro, you might get your teeth out of your mouth.
Yeah, well, that's what I always, you know, I've said that to people. Is look, we can have a civil discussion and disagree with one another.
Definitely.
Right? But the second you start yelling and raising your voice at me or disrespecting, the next step up is physical violence. And that's where I'm going to take it. I'm not going to yell.
All they need to do is go to Google and Google your name, Joao Assis, and go to the 4th picture. That's your 4th picture on Google. And then they're going to realize, I don't want to fight that guy.
Yeah.
You're wearing some championship belt and you look like the fucking Brazilian gorilla that you are. I don't want to fight that guy. But no, I know what you're saying though, because I know we talked about Dojo Storms a little bit, because that used to be the thing, right? Is like, who was the Master Murgel or Murgel? Murgel. Remember, he was telling us when he was at Electric that him and Elio back in the day would just go fucking walk around and go to all the different places and call people out and fight them right there on the spot.
Yep.
And he's like, man, he said Elio, because like in the jiu-jitsu culture, everybody looks at Elio Gracie's on the wall and he's like, my grandfather could never do one pull-up. And you think of him as this weak, frail man. And Master Murgella said, Elio had the devil in his eyes.
Oh, yeah, bro. Yeah,
That's you know, and he was a guy that fucking was used to do that the dojo storms with. He's a red belt now, you know.
Yeah.
But
I'm for it. You know, like you always hear it, and it happens everywhere. But you hear about guys that got promoted that shouldn't, or gyms that are opening being run by people that shouldn't. And
well, dude, what can we really do to correct that culture, though? Because this is a problem, and I'm not going to call anybody out by name, but we've seen examples of people wearing blue belts or people wearing purple belts that have no fucking business wearing them.
None.
And not only, like, I'm not saying, like, dude, you put 2 years into jiu-jitsu, a lot of times you're going to get a purple belt.
Blue belt.
Or, I mean, a blue belt.
Yeah.
But there's people that not only have they not put 2 years in, I don't even think they've put fucking half that. And is there someone somewhere rewarding people just to keep them as students?
Oh,
just to
100 fucking percent, dude.
Just to increase their revenue stream?
Perfect example. Fucking made up ranks, made up belts. Oh, you can train for 3 months now. You get a white belt with a navy blue stripe
what
on
the
it.
fuck is
Or
that,
a green
dude?
belt for, you know,
adult.
like before
Yeah.
the blues.
Kids,
for an
I get
adult.
it. If
Bro,
it's,
for an
if it's the
adult, you know?
kid IBJJF ranking belts, cool. I'm good with that. That's what we do, right? You get your white belt as a kid, then you get your gray and white, then your gray, then your gray and black, right? They go through. But for adults,
What the fuck is an adult in a green belt? And here's the thing. I've seen some guys that have come through our program that I hold respect for. So if you're listening, I'm not trying to call you a piece of shit. You know we're homies. And it's not their fault. It's their instructor's fault. It's white, blue, purple, brown, black. Like, that's the journey for adults. And bro, I don't even do stripes. I still don't do stripes for adults.
what's the lineage? Because there was one lineage that did an intermediary green belt for adults.
Bro,
Was it Carlson Gracie lineage?
I don't know, bro. I don't know back in the day. I know from now, I know few academies do.
I know,
You
yeah.
know?
Because one of
Even
the
friends of
academies,
mine
look,
do.
I
Which I have to
yeah,
agree. You
yeah,
know?
a very
and
good
again,
friend
I'm
of
not
mine
calling
does
them
it.
out, but I would never do.
Yeah, but
I would never do myself.
Why would you want to change it? Because this is why I think people change it. Because if you have a student that hasn't been recognized for 2.5 years, that might be bad for business, right? But what's going to keep jiu-jitsu authentic is that we're not here for the reward of the belt. We're here for the fucking journey. And I tell my students all the time the same shit that you say, like, dude, it doesn't matter. I don't care what color your belt is. That's not what this is about. Show up and train, belts happen.
Yep.
Don't worry about that, though. You keep showing up, you're consistent. I tell my students all the time, I have 3 requirements. It's consistency, it's effort, and it's attitude. You come often, you fucking give good effort, and you bring a right attitude, that's a path to black belt. It's that simple. And now we got fucking people like making up all this shit because we know what this leads to. It leads to jiu-jitsu being taekwondo someday.
Yeah.
Where a black belt in jiu-jitsu doesn't mean shit. And I'm not saying a black belt in jiu-jitsu can beat the fuck. I mean, one of my white belts was a rugby player that I don't care who the fuck you were. He's a fight, dude. He's a problem, right? But like at the bare minimum, a black belt, if you get in a fight with a jiu-jitsu black belt, it should be a problem. And dude, we had this guy. Perfect example. Perfect segue. We had a guy. I don't know if I told you guys this story. He came to my academy as a black belt.
This is the guy that wanted to teach right away.
Yeah. Dude, day one, he goes, hey, can I get on your schedule to be one of your kids class instructors? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know you, bro. We met today.
Who are you?
Yeah, who are you? I don't care if you have a black belt around your waist. Like, I'm more reluctant to let you teach my kids than my adults. Like, my kids class is fucking sacred. I have to know you're going to bring good vibes, good culture, that you're not going to fucking, you don't want to pull them in the corner and diddle them. You know, like, if I don't know you, you're not running a fucking kids class. But then Bob, white belt Bob, and he was still a white belt at the time. Dude, he's the rugby player, right?
Yeah.
They slapped and bumped, and he fucking mauled this guy. And he submitted him like 10 times. fucking savage. And dude, Bob is actually who told me, he's like, dude, rugby teaches takedowns.
Oh yeah,
They go in the
about it.
scrum and hit singles and doubles and
Yeah.
shit. Like the good rugby players are proficient grapplers, dude.
Yeah,
And-
bro. To make a touchdown in rugby, bro, you have to defend like what 10 takedowns. You know, across the field. You know,
And not only like are they proficient.
See, he said Hugby.
Hugby, yeah, I like that, dude. Not only are they proficient like grapplers, but they have a will and like
Grit.
You know,
tenacity.
we talk grit. You
so
know,
they have the competition inside
yeah.
them too.
To go back to full circle to that, I said like that day that I was trying to pressure tap my fucking blue belts, and like. After those rounds, a couple of them were like, dude, I thought about tapping, but then I worked through those problems and I came out and I feel like I passed your test. And they were proud of themselves, right?
Yeah.
You know, all those rugby guys have gotten all those nerves out because they haven't had one person on top of them.
Yeah.
They've had fucking 10,
Yeah.
you know? But anyways, a white belt rugby player mauls this black belt and he quit the next day. He wouldn't quit on the spot because he didn't want to say anything.
For sure.
He sent an email and it's like, I've decided I'm going to cancel my membership at Electric Jiu Jitsu. And it's like, you fucking faggot.
Yeah,
dude.
which that tells me one thing. That tells me he's not a real black belt. He's not a legit black belt, period. Because look, it could happen the best. You get your black belt, you have an injury, something happens, and you're off. You can't train for a few years
You're
or
human.
whatever.
You're human.
You're
Yeah.
human, right? You fall off the radar, right? And okay, I'm going to start training again. You know, coming into this academy, you're going to get your ass handed to you
100%,
by a bunch
dude.
of lower belts. And you know what? You don't make fucking excuses. You just show up the next day. And you show up the next day. And next thing you are, in 3 weeks, a month, you're a fucking legit
you're
black
back
belt
to the,
again.
you're back to the
Exactly.
level you were.
Exactly.
And that's totally fine, bro. Because I also tell my students, like, guys, you know how jiu-jitsu works. It takes forever to bump a notch up, right? But it takes 2 weeks to lose the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't forget things, but put together what you know and what you can do and be proficient, be effective with that. It takes like flow, and flow comes with showing up and consistency,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and here's the thing too, if you hide from guys that fucking have your number, you're never going to become the best version of yourself. And this same dude, so I was telling one of my buddies this story and he goes, that fucking dude came through my academy, right? So he's bouncing around,
He's
right?
looking for a shitty academy.
He's looking for a
so
shitty
he can
academy,
look
right?
good.
And so my buddy Stefan, I think both you guys, you probably met Stefan at some point, but he's built, he's like my size, 200 pounds, but he's a fucking super athlete. And he's a black belt and he's tough as fuck, dude. And this guy was at his academy. He goes, hey bro, you want to get around? Well, they're both black belts. Like, let's get around, right? And he goes, no, I'm hurt right now. I'm taking it easy. I'm not rolling hard right now. So I'm going to sit this one out, right? So Stefan grabs another partner, starts rolling. And then he looks over. Stefan's wife is a brown belt, but she's 100 pounds.
It's not...
It's Rashna. Yeah, you know Rashna. You met Rashna.
Yeah.
That's right. And Stefan looks over, and he said this dude is like trying to maul Rashna.
Oh, I would have stopped in the middle of the round.
Bro.
Middle of the fucking round.
Yeah.
If that happened, if that happened in my academy, and that was him rolling with Casey, I would have stopped. I would have told whoever I was rolling with, "Hey, 1 second." I would have gone over there. Get the fuck up. Now we're fighting.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like,
now
bro,
we're not just doing a round.
two
Now we're
minutes
gonna
ago.
fucking
And I'm
hurt
only
you.
going to stop when I want.
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what does Hickson say?
Hickson says.
It says for money or competition, I stop when you tap. For like pride or honor, I stop when I want.
Exactly, bro. That's the perfect analogy, bro.
And then that's what you get.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like 2 minutes ago you were too hurt to roll.
Right.
But now you can beat up on girls.
Yeah. I'm not going to break your arm,
I might.
but I might. But I will hold it there and let you tap a few times, and then I'll fucking transition to something else even worse. You know, like, you're going to fucking endure the pain.
But the whole point of bringing that dude up is like there's certain places that are watering down jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
And like, man, we can't have fucking black belts out there that are behaving like that. And here's the deal. If you get a black belt from someone and you think that you're not meeting the standard of black belt, like you have a friend that got promoted and he said, man, like, I feel like I got promoted too quickly. So what did he do? He dove into the Shark Tank.
Dove into it.
And he said,
every
bro,
day
like,
he could, man. He's like, I want rounds with you,
I want
Greg,
rounds
today.
with
Like,
the toughest guys
Yeah.
because I felt like I got promoted too fast. and I want to correct this. So that's the right thing to do.
That's right. He didn't hide from it. He didn't run from it. He fucking dove into it. He embraced it, and he's feels like a fucking different person.
Fuck yeah, dude. And it's like, dude, now we're starting to see more and more of that. And I guess it's inevitable to a certain degree because jiu-jitsu is going to fucking blow up, bro. Like,
It doesn't have to be inevitable, though.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, how do we stop it? And although dojo storms sound fun, is that the key to stopping this? I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. Maybe we should try.
So, for example, my young teenage student that left, and he just came back this week.
Yeah.
Right? He's a high school kid, good kid, trained with me for, I don't know, 6-8 months. And when we moved to a different building transition, we stopped doing striking. We didn't stop, and he wanted to pursue striking, and he left and started training at another gym closer to where he lives, and that's fine. Whatever. I don't, and so he was gone for about, I don't know, maybe a little over a year, and one of his buddies started here, and has only been training for like 4 or 5 months. And they've been training at home together, and his buddy now is kicking his ass.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck, man, I joined the wrong gym.
Bro,
I gotta go back.
How's that striking working out for you?
Something I personally dislike, it's these guys who train in garages. Like, I don't play a gym, I train on my garage.
Yeah.
You suck, bro.
Yeah.
You're not, like, straight up.
I trained in my
suck.
garage.
You want to train in your garage on the weekends after you've been training all week. It's all good.
Yeah.
Totally get it. I don't do that because I have a gym to train, so I don't need the mats on my house. But I get it. But you don't go to the gym because you're going to train in the garage. I have a problem with that, bro.
Well, in the garage,
because the guys who did that, my guys who did that, they put them levels down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I always saw the level going down. You know
Dude,
what I mean?
I have one of my students, his name's Igor, his kids, he signed his kids up, right? And he's like, well, I'm a purple. He didn't say this. I don't remember how we figured it out, but he's a purple belt, but he had a small team of guys that rolled in a garage, right? And so, like, those were his guys for a long time. They get together a couple nights a week, like I think like 3, 4, 5 of them, and they train together. And so he didn't join the team out of the gates with his kids because he felt kind of like, I get together with the guys.
Yeah.
And then after a couple months, like, because kids class wraps up and then all the adults get on. And he's a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, he likes training, right? Yeah. And finally he signed up. He's like, I can't not be here.
Right.
And he goes, I told all the guys at the garage, like, the right answer to it is everybody come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and dude, culture's everything, man. And it's hard to have the right vibes and the right culture if it's 3 guys in a garage.
Well, and it's like right now, the guys up in Ohio, they don't have it. The closest gym, even decent gym to them, is like almost an hour away.
Yeah.
And so they've got like 7, 8 dudes in the garage.
No, but that's different, right? That's what you're doing.
They're
what
building,
you can.
They're
with what
building
you
a
have.
gym too.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're creating their culture.
Yeah.
They're doing what they can with what they have.
Exactly.
So it's totally fine.
But
That's
I
a
agree with
different
you.
situation.
Not going to a local gym and only doing in your garage with videos and bullshit. Like,
and thinking it's fine. It's the same thing. Fuck no, bro.
Yeah. And dude, you're going to have a hard time. I mean, every time I teach class, I try and let people know where the invisible jiu-jitsu is happening, right? Because it's like, if you're just sitting there watching somebody teach, dude, there's pressure, there's connection. I'm lifting weight off of my knees and transferring it onto your chest, like all these little things,
and twists.
And dude, you can't see that stuff in a YouTube video. You have to have people on top of you. You have to feel it. And if you don't have someone that understands all that stuff, that's willing to teach you and show you, it's going to be exponentially more difficult. And then the other side of it is you may be starting to build in bad habits into your routine.
Definitely.
False security.
Yeah, false sense of security.
False sense of security.
Yeah.
False sense of
false
technique.
sense of improvement too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you have no good partners enough to bump your level up, right? So yeah, it's a thing. I mean, it's like find a place where you can improve. It's mandatory. Yeah.
Dude, I get one of my most common emails is people that listen to the podcast and they hear fucking like this whole episode's going to be jiu-jitsu, right? So like,
we got to talk about shooting too.
Okay, we'll talk about shooting. So people are going to ask about jiu-jitsu, and one of the most common questions I get is like, dude, what do I look for in academy? And I tell people, dude, like, and people will very often be like, hey, this is the city I live in. Can you do a quick Google search and see which academy you recommend? And it's like, bro, like, it doesn't matter if it's Checkmat or Gracie Baja or Alliance. It's like, dude, they're all affiliated, and I believe it's the head professor's job to set culture and set vibe.
Absolutely.
And so instead of getting caught up on what affiliation you are or what this and that or whatever team, it's like, I say, go check them all out.
Exactly.
And when you walk in, not just the owner of the gym, but do the other students introduce themselves? Do they shake your hand? When you actually try class out, do the other students and the other instructors, do they make you feel like you're a priority? Do they make you feel like you're important? And like, do you feel like that's a culture you want to be part of? And to tell you the truth, you will probably feel the culture of a gym within the first 5 minutes of being there.
Yeah.
You know, if you walk in there and no one comes up to you and you're kind of standing there and like, what, you know?
Totally, bro. Like, I don't have people from outside my circle, right, asking me things like that, but my students ask because they travel, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, man, I'm going this place. Where should I train? I'm like, bro, Google, see what's around you and go there and check.
Yeah,
you know?
go there and check.
But it's all about the vibes. And I tell you what, bro, many times happen, like, I have new people visiting the gym in order to enjoy, right? To join the gym. So they go there and they see basically they go before the class and stuff. And I call, I was like, hey, man, let's do an intro class kind of thing, right? And most of the guys like, hey, bro, yeah, let's do the intro class, but I already know this is my place. You know what I mean? Because the community. Because like you said, bro, people arrive at the gym and say, hey, bro, what's up? Like, you're new? It's like, oh, yeah, right on, man, you know?
Yeah.
Introduce themselves. And before class started, before I start
even on the
showing
mat, over there by the
jiu-jitsu,
door.
they already know that's their place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, bro, like, and Lapin will probably be upset with this because you don't offer free trials anymore.
No free trials.
But we still allow people to have 2 classes on us, right? And I can't tell you how many new people inside of the last 3 months, 1 class, and they're like, I know you said that I get another class for free. I don't give a fuck, dude. It's time to sign up. This is my home now.
And we'll get that with the trial. Like, I know I got 4 more classes on the trial.
But I'm signing up
Just
tonight.
sign me up tonight.
I give 1 free class, but I teach them
and I
one-on-one.
refund them. Obviously, if they sign up, they get the $25 refunded.
Yeah. What's Joao, what's your drop-in policy at Electric?
They pay the dropping fee, jumping on the mat.
You have like a single time map fee to jump in a class?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm telling people, if you're in Huntington Beach, California, go train a day with Joao. See what's up with it.
Man. Like usually my policy is like this, bro. Guns Gis guys, I don't charge dropping fee. If they want to leave some money and donate, right,
cool, whatever.
Okay, I don't say no for money. But guys from Vida, guys from Electric North, I don't charge.
Yeah.
Basically our circle, you know, I want to give, right? Other than that, bro, it's business is business.
Yeah,
game is game.
If you're from
time.
if you're from a Checkmat academy, if you're a Checkmat team, or obviously like Guns and Gis, like Circle.
My thing is more like you guys and Guns and Gis. Fuck the rest. Business is business.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, dude.
But it's not about the money. That's something I want to make sure, bro. It's work. You know what I mean? I'm doing my work, I'm doing my best, and I want people to value that, right? And in a way of doing that is touching their points.
And bro, like, for me, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but like, I didn't understand my value as a jiu-jitsu professor until probably the last 2 or 3 years, you know? And it's a value exchange. That's what's going on, dude. Because there was a time when I felt bad, like charging people, or when people come up and they're, dude, I can't afford a membership, but what do you think of this or that? And you used to say all the time, man, you don't pay, you don't train. You know, it is what it is, you know? And like, if you're in an academy that's enriching your fucking life and bringing you friends and bringing you fitness, how do you think they keep the fucking lights on?
But that's exactly, bro. Because like when you're like, oh, just come and train, no need to pay. It's not one person. is many, bro. And when you look back and see how much you didn't make, it touched you. It touched you in the wrong way because you're a professional. In professionals,
but this is what I've noticed too. The people that try and skimp on their memberships bring the lowest vibrations
That's
to
what I
the
was going
team.
to say. It's not even a financial thing so much as it is when they want that from you, it means they don't value what you're offering.
Yeah.
Right? And then we talked about it. You said you had to raise your rates recently. And it was only like $20 or something.
No, even like 15.
$15 for like your long time students.
Yeah.
Bro, I want to give you $50. Like if I like, you know, like
no, but that's
if I invest your time with your professor, you know, your professor cares about you. He's not increasing your rate $15 a month because he wants to buy that new Porsche. You know, it's like shit gets more expensive.
No, bro,
I'm trying to feed my family.
About this raising thing, it was like this, bro. I never raised the price for my OGs, right?
Yeah.
But this year, given the circumstance, I was like, I think it's nothing but fair. You know what I mean? And bro, and it was a little. It was just a little increase, just to make things, just to round up the numbers, and
To make up for Biden's inflation.
yeah, pretty much, right?
Climate change, gas
bro,
prices.
Surprisingly, 99% of my guys were like, "Oh yeah, professor." You know, like you give me so much more than that. You know, of course, one other guy here, they're now in a financial time of their life where they're fine, you know.
Yeah.
And I understand that, you know.
Yeah, because we've all been fucking broke, bro.
One of my students, she owns a CrossFit box, and she asked me like, "How many people left after you raised the price?" I'm like, "Nobody." You know, nobody left.
She's like, I'm gonna raise my prices.
But that's the point. She told me, like, "Bro, every time I raise my prices, half of the gym disappear." You know, but that's the problem of culture, you know.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't know. She said that CrossFit people, you always have like the gym of the moment where everybody want to train.
The cool,
right?
trendy place.
Exactly, the cool place to train. And of course, that cool place at some point is not the cool place anymore, and people migrate to the other.
The
cool
other thing
place.
is too, never in the history of CrossFit have you been face-to-face smushing against your CrossFit coach, trying to choke the life out of them, or they're choking the life out of you.
Yeah.
You know, they're just calling out an exercise.
Yeah, this is not a personal. This is not a personal improvement relationship.
I think I've talked about this on the show before, but I don't know if I've talked to you guys about it. I have a new theory on why jiu-jitsu brings people so close together, and I literally think it's an exchange of energy.
Oh yeah,
when we're like on top of each other. Because dude, what is something that every culture on planet Earth does? When you see someone, you embrace them, you touch their body. Like there's something about touching somebody's physical
there's
body.
Something about a handshake,
and
about the hug.
And bro,
right?
I'm not talking about anything fucking sexual.
No,
but there is an intimate exchange of energy, even when you're fighting. Because dude, you have a lot of MMA fights, right? Yeah. I have a couple. And like at a lot of jiu-jitsu tournaments, how many dudes have you fought? And then afterwards you're like, I kind of like that guy.
No, but that you see on UFC every single fight
cut from the same cloth.
That's what I'm saying. Right?
You have this thing on UFC that you see this trash talk, but once the fight's done, the guys handshake, hug, and they settle down.
Man, are you okay, bro?
Yeah,
they
settle down right there. Besides Khabib and McGregor.
Yeah. But I mean, I had a guy that fucking knocked me out. And like, but we had a gnarly fight. Like it was a long fight, right? It was right at the very end of it. And I've ran into him a handful of times, like in life, in the weirdest places. And I was 26 years old when we had that fight. And I ran into him a year or two ago, and there's still something between us.
No, bro, I have fought dudes. Like one of my first MMA fights, bro, I fought this bad motherfucker. And bro, he became something like a brother for me. It's like we have this connection to the day, to nowadays. So
I was wondering what that was.
Because like, also there's like this mutual respect, within our circle, right? You respect the motherfucker for being tough as nails.
For sure. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Win or lose, right? So I mean, that's felt at the highest level of competition, or even the lowest level of competition. But a step below that is just Monday night practice. bunch of guys that work at Boeing are on top of each other, competing against each other. And once the final bell goes off, man, we feel closer because we went to war, not only together, but against each other too. Yeah. And I think that is one of the keys to jiu-jitsu. And I think that is why jiu-jitsu is pulling ahead of other martial arts, because we get that on a nightly basis. And dude, I did fucking striking and Muay Thai and shit for years. And I'm not trying to detract from those arts. If you're good at those arts, like I'm not fighting Joe Schilling. You know what I mean? Like
we all did.
I know how,
but it's not the same.
It doesn't have the same camaraderie that jiu-jitsu has.
I trained Muay Thai for years before I really got into jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. And this isn't a Muay Thai gym that I decided to open up, right? I started training jiu-jitsu and started training under Thiago and like the Brazilians and the Brazilian lifestyle and culture and stuff, and like fell fucking in love with the culture. And here we sit, you know, like it's not a Muay Thai gym, you know.
This is what I think the key is for having striking in your gym, because I have guys, you just had someone ask you, right? Or no, it was that kid that left because you didn't have striking.
I get asked all the time, and I tell people, no, we're not doing any striking here.
And I tell people this because I have a handful of guys that are kickboxers, and I'm like, if you guys want to get together on Sunday afternoon, you can have a key, and you can do your instructions.
Yeah, that's what I tell them.
But it's not going to be something that's official. It's not something that's on the schedule. It's not something that's part of the culture. It's not something of what we're selling. But if you want to train it, you can train it. And so whoever wants to show up on Sunday with Kozak and do kickboxing, right, it's available. But that's just a byproduct of being a good teammate and being part of this gym. I don't ever want that to be a selling point, right, you know, because inevitably, like I said, like the striking culture is just different, man.
Yeah, you get it. Yes, I agree. It taints the jiu-jitsu kind of vibe.
And as soon as you try and turn it into MMA, like, dude, I don't want to be around fighters.
Bro, I like for a long time I had been among the MMA fighters, right?
Yeah.
And something that I feel the biggest difference between these striking academies, you know, and the jiu-jitsu academies, like on the MMA world, there's this competition, you know, you competing, because you want to be the best at your division. So when there is an opportunity, the opportunity is yours, right? And in jiu-jitsu, it doesn't happen, bro, because it's about cooperation, not competition, you know? So in jiu-jitsu, everybody embrace each other, you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, bro, you there is no opportunity where you have to be the best in order to take the opportunity, you know? The opportunity is equal for everybody. You sign up for a tournament and go. You know what I mean? Thing. And the best guy gonna win and gonna take the props, you know, became famous or go viral, who knows? But inside the gym, within the four lines inside the gym, you have this cooperation vibe different than the competition vibe. For sure. Which it's not wrong, you know?
No,
in
of course not,
competitive world, you have to be competitive every day to practice, you know, the competitiveness of being there. But
and bro, and I loved that phase of my life. Like Charlie Pearson is a legend in the MMA world. He was my coach for a long time. And I actually tell a lot of young guys, I think diving into the MMA world for a little bit is probably necessary if you want to be a fucking protector of your family. Like, you need to know how to kick someone in the fucking head or elbow someone's teeth down their throat.
I train. I'm fortunate to have trained some of the best MMA camps in the world. I trained on Team Quest back in early
Dan
2000s
Henderson.
with Dan Henderson and his crew. You know, I trained at King's MMA with Rafael Cordeiro, one of the best striking coaches in the world for years.
Yeah.
You know, while I was the jiu-jitsu head coach. I trained with Jacob Harmon, which is one of the best wrestling coaches you're going to find. You know, one of the hardest ones, you know. And for that point of my life, that was exactly what I need.
Yeah.
Right? But once I changed, and you change every day, you know, bro. You're going to find yourself at some point, change yourself. And for me, the best thing I did in my life was change my focus from that world to the jiu-jitsu world.
Same for me, bro.
Know? And I don't regret one single second. You know what I mean?
And what I found is, if you want to make your academy, because what do we hear all the time? Jiu-jitsu's for everybody, right? And It really is, but you have to prioritize the right culture
Right.
for it to be for everybody.
It can be for everybody.
I can add another sentence for this quote. Jiu-jitsu is for everybody, but not black belts. Black belts is not for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, everybody can be a white belt. Everybody can be a blue belt. Totally fine. But to get on the black belt the right way is just for few.
And I've told my students too, like being a continuous member of this team doesn't earn you your black belt.
I know.
You know what I mean? There's a lot more that goes into it than just fucking, like just showing up. Like you have to be the right person. It's like we talked about the other day. You're like, man, my black belts are badasses. I have Greg. I have Charles.
Guys who are heroes for me.
Yeah.
In their crafts, Like my black belts, and I'm not the guy that I don't give black belts around, bro. I have very few, and I'm proud of that. When I see like guys with like long lines of black belts, something hit me sideways.
Yeah.
Like I'm a man of very few people, and the black belts have to my black belts just go to people who inspire me in life.
I'm an honorary Joao Assis black belt.
You're almost
like mine, bro.
Well, bro, and dude, you said that at my promotion ceremony, which and I love that I got ambushed for my black belt. Like I didn't know it was happening that day. I like that, and I try and ambush all my promotions because I think it makes it fucking special, right? Mm-hmm. But you said man, the reason I'm excited to give Greg a black belt because I believe he's a black belt in life first, and now he can be a black belt in jiu-jitsu too.
Yeah, bro.
And it's fuck yeah, bro.
It's I think I have two things that it's that if the guy inspire me, if I see the passion for jiu-jitsu on the guy, and he's good enough, have been through all the steps, right, in jiu-jitsu, have suffering, have go home and cry, go home and tell his wife or his girlfriend how much fun he had, and you have to leave all these facets of the journey, mm-hmm. right? And you inspire me to be better. You're a black belt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on my view, that's it, and unfortunately, many places are not like that, it's about a money thing, it's about an ego thing, and then you have Mac dojos around, unfortunately, but I don't see just the bad side of it, because you having a Mac dojo close to your gym is a good for your business, you know what I mean? Because people, if they step on your mats, or they're gonna love or they're gonna hate.
Yeah. Oh, and bro, we have developed a local reputation for being good, hard, tough rules, but also good culture where people want to fucking be around us. And it's cool, man, because some of the neighboring gyms that hear about that and feel that, we're starting to get together with other gyms, like the other good gyms in the area, and have cross training. And bro, it's actually pretty cool. It's been happening for probably 6 or 8 months now. There's a gym in Everett called Cascade, and they have a bunch of really tough fucking dudes. And a couple of them stopped by, like, dude, because Friday nights I don't teach class. Friday nights is open mat where everybody just trains hard. And he was a brown belt at the time. He's a black belt now. He's like, hey, can some of our guys come and get some rounds with you guys on Friday sometimes? And we're finding that it's bro, the culture of jiu-jitsu is getting lifted up because more people are starting to know each other in the area. And so I told him, I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck what team you're on this or that. It's man, we're all the same type of guys.
I don't mind cross training at all.
Dude, and it's been really good for the academy. And they say the same thing to us. It's man, your guys are so tough, and they present problems that we don't feel at our academy. Your style is very different. But then it's the equal and opposite side of that on our end, because they have a different style too. And it's man, everybody gets better as a result of
everybody
it.
up.
No, bro, I totally not in favor, but I don't mind at all the cross training thing. The only thing I have a beef with is the garage shit.
Yeah, the garage gyms, shitty black belts, and McDojos.
Exactly. Fuck that.
And people that want to train for free.
Yeah, and then if you're one of them, it's time to wake up.
Bro, I got an email this long about what a solid person I am, how motivated I am. I'm the hardest worker in the room. I love jiu-jitsu, blah, 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 blah. But I don't have any money right now, but I want to sign up at your academy.
Cool. So go get some money.
and I'm just like,
come in when you're ready.
And here's the thing, man. I do have students that I have personal relationships with. And this is when they come to me like this. I've had this happen a handful of times. They're like, hey, Greg, man, like, I love this place. I love the team. Unfortunately, things at work aren't working out very well, and I'm going to have to take a break from the academy. I said, bro, what's better for everybody, both the team and for you? Is if you stay while you figure out your life, and we'll revisit this topic in 3 months.
I do exactly the same.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't make a permanent decision to a temporary solution, to a temporary situation.
Yeah, because what I would hate to happen is, like, man, if that guy steps away because he's doing the right thing, hey, I can't afford, so I need to step away. Now it's on me, right? But what if that puts a roadblock on his journey, and for whatever happens, and he gets a new job in 3 or 4 months? Maybe he doesn't come back because he feels bad
100%.
or whatever it is, right? Man, everybody's better off if you stay, you know?
I've done the same thing.
And
I have been there. I have been
yeah.
there. Broke to the point where, bro, I have to stop because I can't afford, And I have had people in my life say, bro.
But that's the right way to approach that situation, as opposed to, dude, coming out of the gates.
Can I come train for free?
Right. You don't know me. You fucking know nothing about me.
But I'm a hard worker, and you want me there.
You want me
I just
there.
Can't pay you.
Yeah. And so, dude, and everything's a learning point, right? And I didn't arrive at this point by accident.
Those are the problematic guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's what I was going to say. I've had 2 people come to me and not with the, hey, you know what, I'm going to have to step away because I'm struggling. Hey, I can't pay anymore, but I want to clean the mats instead for my membership. And like almost expect
you to
right?
be like, yeah.
And there's been 2 people, and we opened in 2015. So we've been open a long time now. And both times that happens, guess what? They're not there to fucking pull their weight and clean my academy like they say they're going to do. And they just they're a toxic person if they're expecting something for free.
They know the cost of everything and the value of nothing.
No, all the guys who offer cleaning the bathroom for jiu-jitsu, they don't gonna clean shit, and then they're gonna show up and they're gonna piss you off.
Yep.
That's the truth.
I clean my own bathroom, so
Yeah. And dude, I clean, obviously. I have a handful of guys that always stick around and help me out, but I don't expect it from anyone.
No, me neither.
Like every night I start cleaning the mats. I blow all the dust and hair off first, right? Then I vacuum, then I spray, then I mop. And as soon as I pick up the leaf blower to blow the dust off, I usually have guys grabbing the vacuum, guys grabbing the sprayer, but that's because they want to help. I never ask guys to help because I feel like I've been parts of academies when it's like the white belts clean up. And it's like, there's 2 problems with that. A, I don't want the brand new people to feel like a Ranger private. Like I'm up here and you're down here.
Right.
I feel like that's backwards culture.
For sure.
And then the other thing is, bro,
They do a shit
fucking
job.
meticulous as fuck about how you clean my mats.
Yeah.
And there has to be the perfect amount of spray. If it's too little and you're mopping and it's dry.
I see dry streaks.
I'm like, what the fuck? Or then there's some guys that put 15 gallons on and it takes all night to dry. Also problem.
Or,
right?
or eventually they put too much of the product and then your mats get slippery for a week. Fuck that.
Or as they're spraying, its bubbles are coming out.
Oh my God, that hurts the fuck. I'm like, the other day, literally, I was like, dude, pump the handle, please. Yeah. It was like, I'm like, dude, pump the handle. Shh. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're good now.
But fuck, man, like I don't want the brand new guys cleaning the mats. I'm gonna make you feel less than, and then I'm also gonna get my mats cleaned to a shitty fucking standard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, bro. Like electric, I'm the primary cleaner.
Yeah.
If the guys want to take over, I don't complain. Most of the time I lead, but yeah, sometimes I totally know I'm doing.
Well, bro,
I'm doing with pride because I want to see this thing clean as fuck.
I got to tell you this too, like when, and I'm not going to name them by name because I'm not trying to cast shade, but white through brown belt, I had ringworm pretty much the whole time. Like somewhere on my body, I had fucking ringworm. And I just thought, like, dude, being a fighter and being a jiu-jitsu guy, this is life.
It happens.
And then when I moved to electric, I never had it again.
Boom.
And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, and then I was like, ugh.
Bro, so
fuck,
I come from a culture, right? Back in the day in Brazil, bro, you would be judged by how much your gi smells bad. How much and don't take me wrong, the worse it smell, the more status you would have.
Yeah.
You know, because it means you train like a monster. And
you just leave it out in the sun to dry.
That's some Brazilian ass shit, dude.
You ask any Brazilian like our age, they're gonna tell you the same thing.
Dude,
it's
I'm
like,
the
bro,
opposite. When your gi smells, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. So once I grew up, right, became a man, an adult, and then I'm like, okay, I changed my standards, you know. But that's how it used to be back in the day.
Bro, when we were in Orlando the first time, you and me, right? And we were doing 2 sessions a day, 5 rounds each, 10 rounds a day. Just the flow, Get a big sweat. Hard flow, but not tough, you know?
Bro, that was a great week.
It was an amazing week.
Love it.
I love it too. And then after lunch session, you just hung your gi on the back patio outside to dry. I said, hey, I'm going to wash our gis. If we're going to train again tonight, you want? No, man, it's good. I'll just dry. I'm like, oh.
Brazilian's culture, bro.
Say, speaking of washing gis, can you guys hold the conversation down for 20 seconds?
Absolutely. But yeah, dude, I'll never fucking forget that trip, man. And it was like,
that was good, bro. You know it's cool. Sometimes my phone reminds me that.
I know you
like,
see a little.
When was that? Like January, right? So like every January, your phone reminds you from the other Januaries, right?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And now it's popping. I'm like, bro, you were young. My first thing is like, bro, you were young.
We were young, dude. That's crazy. I mean, that's several years ago. I mean, I was a brown belt, I think, and. Yeah, it's crazy.
And that also was a good run, bro. Remember, I think I won with this Pan American.
Yeah, I think you won the Pans, and I was second.
You blink.
We're not going to talk about that. I got greedy, man.
I scream. I'm like, dude, why you didn't do what it is?
I know. I was so mad, dude.
Shit happens,
bro.
Man.
I got up. I fucking stood there, walked off the mat, hugged everybody, went down the aisle, took my jacket off, laid on the concrete, and cried, bro.
But you were winning the whole time.
I was winning. I was beating his ass. I know, dude. I was winning the whole time.
Yeah, bro.
Man.
I always say, bro.
I was winning until I wasn't.
Jiu-jitsu a game of inches, right, bro? You blink, you lose. You cannot blink.
Bro, that Pans was hard for me because it was right after Seth died.
Oh, yeah.
So we were driving there. It was right after Seth died, man. I remember driving to fucking Orlando in the car with, I think, Casey was with me and Jake, my purple belt Jake.
Yeah, just for you, if you don't know, like, Seth was a bad motherfucker who everybody likes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you guys have heard Greg talk about him.
He passed.
And, so that was right after Seth died. So, I'm driving to Orlando 10 hours. And, bro, I'm sitting in the car, and I start shaking. I'm, like, welling up. And I'm going to cry. And, like, I'm crying but not letting anyone see it. And I get it back together from everything, like, because I'm going to fucking battle Pans.
And the big deal. And then Seth whole week was like a therapy week, right? Because we fucking kill each other every day, twice a day.
Yeah. It was fucking amazing. It was a great trip, though. It was much needed, and it changed how I prepare for tournaments now too, forever. So,
and Joao, you won that one, right?
Yeah.
Just come back from retirement to go win Pans,
and I lost. I lost
on the final.
In 57 seconds in the finals.
Greg, you watched the knee.
Yeah, to the dude I was fucking murdering.
And Greg didn't watch this.
I got greedy, man.
Is that a sore subject?
It's fucking still sore, bro. I'd have a gold Pans medal on there,
which is big
brown belt,
which is huge, time. Bro. Yeah,
because I was like 8-0. It was like 8-0 or 8-2.
Beating the guy on the final, you're doing good. I'm just like, bro, watch the knee, and then you didn't.
But that's also the beauty of jiu-jitsu.
I know. I was winning until I wasn't.
Sometimes
he's never in.
That's what makes
the end, man.
You know, fucking 20-0, and then I armbar you.
Yeah.
So fucking suddenly your points mean shit.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah. You know.
There's the surprise element that.
So the thing that pisses me off is I knew my knee was in danger if I tried to scoot out to take his back. I knew that.
But you wanted the back.
But I wanted the back. I wanted to finish him. I didn't want to win on points. And I knew I had 57 seconds. If I had got his back, I was going to fucking take his head off.
That's where everything in jiu-jitsu becomes a double-edged sword.
For sure.
Because, and I talk about it all the time with my students, because I'm starting like the bread cutter, for instance, man, and I got Marcus with that today.
Yeah.
I love the bread cutter because you're compromising nothing positionally.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Bread cutter is what, the side control, the choke side control.
You go from side control, you reach under the four fingers in grip, then you transition to north south, grab the far grip.
I don't know. I call that paper
cutter, bread cutter,
Yeah.
same thing.
Same thing.
All right.
Cuts shit.
You cut shit.
Yeah, you cut shit. In jiu-jitsu,
moving,
you cut
no
the
matter
neck.
how
Cutter.
But man, that's become one of my favorites because positionally, you're giving up nothing. Because like, dude, I mean, I've fallen in love with arm bars like as a black belt. When I became a black belt for whatever, you know, there's seasons of your jiu-jitsu,
for
right?
sure.
Where
Yeah.
like I always go to this.
You are different. Like I always tell people, like, bro, I remember the moments in my life by the belt I was wearing at the time. It's like, man, you know, you remember sometimes my ex-wife say, hey, you remember something back in the day? I'm like, I was a purple belt or a brown belt at the time. You know, so I can understand what I was doing, you know, who I was at the time.
But the reason I brought that up is there's a lot of submissions, dude. Even like if a triangle goes bad, the guy passes your guard.
yeah,
a lot.
he passes, yeah.
You know, if an armbar goes bad, now the guy's on top of you.
Yeah.
Right. And so like everything is a give and take.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was a give and take. I want to get on his back, but I'm gonna have to
Right,
risk
right,
a little bit
yeah.
to get a little bit.
Such is life, man.
It is what it is, but
Fuck yeah, dude.
yeah, it is what it is. But we haven't talked about Guns and Gis at all, and we got like
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Because it was
give
another
a recap.
good one.
Give a recap of the camp.
Yeah, so class 007, we experimented with our kind of all-inclusive package this time around. So when they showed up, they got the Exumbris gunfighter belt and inner belt, and they got the holster with the mag pouches that we run, the drop and offset holster, Kydex holster, angled mag pouches from Allegiance. Obviously, they get their gi from Moya, the rash guard, all that stuff for the jiu-jitsu. But it was a little bit of a smaller class
on the market.
Best gear. And honestly,
like Exumbers,
Yeah.
it's exceptional, bro. And I fucking love their gear.
I'm gonna,
Well,
I'm
honestly-
gonna have Eric from Exumbris on the podcast.
yeah,
too.
it did streamline the shooting.
For sure.
Not having to unfuck people's shitty gear when they show up.
Hey, not having Ron. Shout out Ron, Guns and Gis alumni.
With his holster hanging on his knees.
But it did streamline. It
Bro,
streamlined the
you know you
shooting.
love it, right?
You know, and it eliminated any safety issues with gear, bad holsters,
Yeah.
primarily, or belts or no
or
belts.
guns popping,
Right?
falling on the
Yeah,
ground.
exactly. You know,
a lot
it
of these
eliminated
loose
that.
holsters.
And then they had good gear to train with that they get to take home and then continue their training
Yep.
with. So it did streamline it, but
But in all transparency, like the one thing that we found is when you're selling a shooting course, but you're marketing to people that have nothing, that's not as big of a market, and that's why this class didn't sell out.
that too, and I think it priced us out of people saw the price and go, "Oh, I don't know if I can afford that." When
But
they're going to end
get
up buying
$500 worth of gear.
right? Exactly. I
Yeah.
know. So
No, and dude, I can tell you because like Rachel Novak, Mike
yeah, you
Novak's
told
wife,
me.
like she goes, "Hey, me and my girlfriends want to put together a course, or we want you to put together a training course if that's something you're open to." I said, "Yeah, but this is what you're going to need," and I sent him a belt and a holster, and like, if you want to have the proper gear to go train, you're going to have to invest a minimum of probably $500.
Yep.
yeah,
Right?
I mean,
$500
without the gun.
without the gun. Yeah,
like
yeah.
we're talking just gun belt, holster,
and
mag pouches.
she's like,
I
and
talk
then-
about good shit, right?
Yeah,
The
but
best
here's the
shit in
thing:
the
we
market.
talked back and forth a little bit, and then she said, like, "Yeah, a lot of the girls are no longer interested because they didn't realize it was that expensive." And it's like, here's the thing: having a good quality holster, it's not because people will always say, like, "Well, what do I need I only carry it concealed. Or what do I need a gunfighter holster for?" It's like, it is your administrative position when we're on the range, right? Think about trying to teach that class without holsters. It's impossible.
Bro, it's the same-
what do we
do it
it's the
safely.
same people say like, oh, I'm gonna fight on the streets. Why should I use a gi to train? It's like, bro, because
Yeah.
the way it is, that's how you train.
But like you know, when you're jamming mags or when relay 2's up, the holster gives the gun an administrative position which is safe. If you don't have that, now what? Are we just going to all set our fucking guns on the picnic table during you know, when you're talking about things, or it's
Need holsters
impossible.
and then the other thing too, and you guys have heard me say this too, like and you know, take it for what it's worth. It's my opinion. It's my opinion rooted in fucking 20 years of doing this at a pretty high level, but it's still my opinion. You know, people say train like you fight. Oh, you don't go to the range and shoot a whole course from your IWB with your Glock 48. No,
Yeah, no.
When I'm on the range, I wear my regular gunfighter belt with my regular drop-in offset holster with my Glock 17. And that's what I shoot on the range. And that gives me a lot of magazine capacity. It gives me a nice, clean draw stroke and holster that mimics the draw stroke from my IWB everyday carry, but it allows me to get repetitions. I'm on the range to shoot. I'm on the range to put bullets on paper and work on my combat marksmanship.
Yeah.
When I dry fire, I'm dry firing to build that muscle memory of the draw stroke and the smooth garment clearing. That's when I do that shit.
And you know what else? Shooting the 43X is not fun.
Sucks, man. If you're shooting that gun all day, you're gonna be banged up.
But shooting my 19X is, I fucking love that.
Right.
So,
No, bro, I feel the difference between my 19 and my 17. My 17 is smooth, soft. I love that gun. When I change for my 19, it becomes like a brick on my hand.
A little snappier, yeah.
shame on you.
Fuck that.
I've always, maybe I'm just biased because in 04, Triple Canopy issued us 19s.
Glock 19s,
That
yeah.
was my first gun that I ever had that I liked.
Yeah.
Because the Army, it's M9s.
Oh,
and right? Like, I always,
Don't take me wrong. My 19 was my first gun too, and I love. But once I got the 17, I was like, whoa, life can be good, can be better.
Maybe the problem is I don't have a 17 yet.
Ooh, you need a 17. My 17 is my favorite gun.
All right. So the 17, because mine is a 19X, so it has the 17 handle.
17 handle,
Just a
slightly
shorter.
Yeah, yours has
How
a
much
shorter
shorter
slide.
is the slide on
It's
a
only
19?
like a half inch.
Okay.
But it makes a big difference because you get more.
Every inch counts.
Every half inch counts.
Every millimeter counts.
Let's be honest.
Size matters.
But no. It's like my wife says. My 19 is perfect. I wouldn't want it. I wouldn't want my 19 to be any bigger. You wouldn't want. You wouldn't want your. You would,
17's too big.
you wouldn't want my 19 to even be an eighth of an inch bigger. No, it's perfect.
This dude I dated had a 17 and it was too big.
It hurts. It hurts. And then I'll go stand in the rain and cry. I want to hurt you.
All right, that's fair.
Fuck, man. Well, dude, we just barely started to get into Guns and Gis, but I had fun on this episode because people like geeking out on jiu-jitsu, man. Because
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu,
for sure.
it's like you said, man, jiu-jitsu is life, dude.
It is, bro.
And more people are fucking seeing the value in that. And dude, I'm getting a lot of my newer students from the podcast. People hear conversations like this and they're like, okay, it's time to fucking try.
Yeah, like how these people can talk about this so much.
Jiu-jitsu
Must be good.
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu can change. I really, honestly, like, it sounds fucking super idealistic, but jiu-jitsu can change the world. It can change society.
100%,
It can
bro.
change humanity. It creates humanity on the mats. You have to have some sort of humanity and compassion
Yeah.
for all these fucking strangers that
Bro.
then become part of your
And
family.
bro, like I was talking to Brady about this. If someone came in this room right now with a checkbook and said, I will cut you a check for $10 million, but you're a white belt again, I wouldn't even consider.
No,
Nope.
I
never.
wouldn't even consider because I can't be the person that I am without the path that I've walked through jiu-jitsu.
Bro, the
Right,
That's
and
it.
that means
The
not
things I
just
did-
your jiu-jitsu white belt, but like everything that I've gotten in life.
Fuck
Beyond
yeah.
jiu-jitsu,
Bro.
from becoming a black
Yeah.
belt. You
My
know?
relation-
the things I did, the places I've been, the people that I met because I was who I was, being where I was, no money can pay.
Yeah, the U.S. Army brought you to Afghanistan
Bro,
to teach
yeah.
jiu-jitsu. You know what
Bro,
I mean?
I've been in war zones. I've been like I'm in paradise. Like I've done like couple travels overseas with the military, right? Teaching the soldiers and special ops on war zones on their bases. Bro.
You've been to China in hotel rooms
Everywhere.
filled with cigarette smoke.
Yes, bro. It's
That
like,
place would fucking suck.
bro, it's like even winning ADCC, bro, you're basically the most badass motherfucker on the world for 2 years. You know,
Yeah.
whatever gym you step, people knows you, and that's like there's no price for that.
Well, bro, I told you when I met the Rotolo brothers in Orlando 2 weeks ago, I said I'm a Joao Assis black belt. Both of them were like, "What,
Bro, I know these kids since they're like little boys, bro,
and they're like, "He's a fucking legend,
and
bro."
I'm not surprised they are who they are now, bro. They
Yeah.
always being like amazing kids, super kind, super cool, and of course, as they evolved, now they're badasses at 18-year-old.
18.
That's
and bro, they're almost
mind-boggling,
my
bro.
size, dude. I was like, how fucking big are you guys now? And like 185, dude.
fuck.
And it's like right there, bro.
And
You
they're,
know?
still, they're barely growing.
I know.
There's so much more.
And bro, I wonder what it would feel like having those kids put their fucking hands on you.
I mean, they're beating the best of the best.
Dude, the other one that didn't win ADCC just beat Felipe Pena. Like, what are we fucking talking about?
Yeah.
Dude? You know?
Yeah.
All right. Well, fuck. We could talk about jiu-jitsu for another hour.
Yep.
It sounds like
We got to get you boys to the airport.
we're gonna have to wait. Guns Gis Class 8 is our first official full class
Up in the Northwest.
in Pacific Northwest
Yeah.
and out of Lake Stevens, Washington. I know a lot of people have been interested in holding off for that just because geographic convenience is a thing. So that's available now. Tickets are starting to sell for that.
Yeah, we're already starting to sell slots to it. And for everyone that is listening, we've gone back to the old profile-ish.
Yeah.
So the price is back to the old price. However, if you want to shoot a gun with a red dot, we have now those guns as rental packages. So you get the Gen 5 Glock 19 or 17s. We have a mix with the Vortex RDS red dot sight on it, already mounted, already sighted in, and a holster and mag pouches for that gun model package.
Yeah.
And all you got to do is show up with a belt, eyes, and ears, and you can rent that gun for that specific camp.
I think that's the way to do it. So if you do not have a firearm and you're interested in attending, we got you.
We got you.
Or if you got all your fucking kit and you're all set up and you love what you run, come train.
Bro, if you don't have a gi, we got you.
Yeah,
Hell
you,
yeah,
you
dude.
get a gi, of course.
You,
but like,
we
even
got
if
you no
you're
matter what.
even if you're a shooter, like Paul, Paul came out. He's like a 20-year law enforcement guy.
Yep.
Always carried a gun with iron sights. Never shot a red dot. Doesn't own a red dot. He's like, I'm shooting a red dot this whole weekend,
And he learned a lot.
He learned a ton. It's life changing. It's definitely a game changer. Not life, but it's a game changer in shooting for sure.
Joao, I just thought of something. If we stick around and just podcast for another half hour or so, you just miss your flight, but that's normal for you.
Oh man, I always miss my phone.
Yeah, so we
You know what I'm known for, right?
No, I think not you. I think Brazilians.
It's a thing. It's
That's the thing.
Even though I'm American, but I got it. I got that.
Fuck. All right, guys, we got to run. That's a wrap.
Sayonara.